turn 4. The battle is on. It's going to be too close to call side by side. Wong Do gets it. Oh, we got contact. We got flips. We got big wrecks here. Going back to the front because we're racing back to the line.
William Page with the victory.
Looking for second here.
Gonna
he's going to use that apron.
He's going to use the apron.
They're going to be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Musa gets it.
Tom Musa, where did he come from?
Boyer trying to close the gap. He's going to get to the bumper. Oh, just barely did not make it. And coming off of turn 4, Jeff Sikenis is going to win it at Dover.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the Lin Voiles Memorial 250 here from the Daytona International Speedway. As always, I'm your host, JoeTowNetwork. Alongside me tonight, well, there's an empty chair. It's just going to be myself and Bristol, our producer, working the cameras for you tonight. Going to be a fantastic night of racing. Again, this is the Lin Voiles Memorial 250, so 100 laps for us here tonight from the Daytona International Speedway. 2.5 miles around this historic hallowed grounds. Going to be a great night of racing action, to say the least. Qualifying going to commence here momentarily. This, of course, your CircleBdiecast.com race preview. Remember to use code JTN at checkout for free shipping on your order of $20 or more. Another great way to help support us here on JTN. I'd like to shout out Jeff, I'm going to say this wrong, Crivello, of course, Mrs. Kathy Voiles, and Magoo also tuning in tonight. Magoo, make sure you're keeping an eye on that racetrack, though. I know we've had our conversations down in the garage area about you getting that plasma TV installed inside the race truck. I do not recommend that at home, folks, to be running around at 200 miles per hour here at Daytona and trying to watch plasma TV inside your racing vehicle. Once again, though, can't thank you enough for joining our coverage here on JTN tonight. Make sure if you haven't already, hit the like button on the video and subscribe. Both things completely free ways to help support us here on JTN. They're great ways to help support us, and they mean so much. Truck Series racing, always fun. You see a big pack out there right now, led by Lee Dog in the Chick-fil-A number 11. Got Lovell looking to the inside. Ricky J back there in third. In the pack, of course, Chevy Chase, Brain Fade, and then that 38 of Fredericks, or BSR Sean. The E-Cascadia truck. Good look. That truck looks so good. Pete Sindone rounding out this pack in that orange and black number 1. Again, practice currently going on. We're going to have a pole shootout here. $25 going to go to the pole sitter on the night. Who will take home that prize? Well, we're moments away from finding out. This is the Tally Rally version of the Daytona International Speedway for folks tuning in that or maybe want to get their hands on this version of the track. So, you know, mid-2000s Daytona, pre-repave, of course. Little rough, bumpy surface out there that's really good for these CTS physics trucks. Owned by Eli in that 114, going to split him up the middle. Lovell gets stuck behind him on the bottom. 11 and 49 peel off. Watch out for the invisible fire. Oh no. Oh, big wreck there. Level up and over in practice. That's going to be a backup truck for the driver of the 088. Ricky J also looked to be involved in that. He drives away. Got any more trucks packed up? Does not look to be the case. You need a part? Well, Pete Sindone, he's got it behind that E-Cascadia Dodge Ram. More trucks pulling off down the pit lane. That's just your cue that we're getting close to the end of opening practice here from Daytona. Again, folks, cannot thank you enough for joining us here tonight. Cannot thank you enough for being here tonight and joining us. It's gonna be a fun night of racing. We had to express ship all of the cameras from Talladega here to Daytona. Bristol and I got the dates mixed up. Probably why we don't have a second announcer, honestly. Probably could get a plane out of Atlanta to get down to Daytona Beach. But nonetheless, going to be a great night of racing. Qualifying now underway. You'll see those results start to tick across your screen at the top of it. But let's break down this Daytona International Speedway. 2.5 miles, of course. The first super speedway built here for NASCAR, for stock car auto racing in beautiful Daytona Beach, Florida. Again, mentioned it. This is the mid-2000s, pre-2011 repave version of the Daytona International Speedway. So a really bumpy surface. A lot of things that can go wrong for these drivers because these corners are going to be tough as the tires start to wear out. Those Goodyear Wranglers on these trucks. As always, we'll also have our 3-wide salute here. Brian Voiles lead the field before we put the track back under green flag conditions for happy hour practice. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. You're going to want to make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to us here on JTN. Qualifying going on right now here in Daytona. Qualifying going on out in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for the NASCAR Cup Series. We'll have our results, of course, ticking across the top of your screen. So right now, Danny Hardee, who won the last 2 Talladega events, currently sits on the provisional pole. Looking to take home a cool $25 for being the pole sitter here tonight. Some other prizes on the line. Rolling Grill Barbecue, of course, doing the lap 50 halfway $25 prize. There'll be 3 random giveaways of $20 apiece, as well as the top 3 drivers taking home some form of a trophy or plaque, depending on where they finish. Going to be a lot of fun here tonight. Been looking forward to this race for a couple weeks. Diesel 95 currently on the pole. Brian Voiles, Tim Huston. Your top 3 at the moment. Probably got about a minute or so left to go here in qualifying. Still playing that waiting game, just waiting to see as qualifying has concluded. Diesel gonna take home the pole. Nat Rock Financial number 95. And now we do the 3 wide salute to a true racer, Lin Voiles here for tonight's Lin Voiles Memorial 250. Brian Voiles going to lead us behind the wheel of that 47 made famous. All that being said, though, this is the moment where, as a commentator, we're told to be quiet, let you guys take these couple laps here in silence, and tribute to Lin Voiles' 3 wide salute. Thank you. Drivers now getting their last opportunity. Go ahead and head out onto the Speedway. Get some last laps in. Danny Hardee has to be one of the favorites here tonight. Has won the Hangover on New Year's Day. Also won the Polar Bear 250 from Talladega on January the 15th. Field now going to get formed up here. Go ahead and get some practice laps in. It's Danny Hardee getting a push from KJ there on the bottom. I do believe, though, I'm not used to doing this. It's time for me to take you through tonight's starting lineup. On the pole with a time of 47 seconds, 0.739. It's going to be Diesel in the 95 with Brian Voiles in that 47 CSX Cadillac rolling off on the outside of the front row. Tim Huston and Danny Hardee going to roll off on row number 2. Row 3 going to be the one of 44 of BSR Magoo and Wildman in the 56. Row 3, rather. Row 4, though, going to be Silver Bullet and Greg Lovell, with Chevy Chase and BSR Steven rounding out your top 10. Brian Lovell and BSR Wings going to roll off 11th and 12th. Billy Ellisor and Brad Otto going to roll off 13th and 14th, with Eli 114 and the 114 in 15th. And Dwayne Rosemond, BSR Beer Run, rolling off in 16th. BSR Sean Fredericks and Lee Dog going to roll off on row number 9, with Pete Sindone and Manny D rounding out your top 20. 21st is going to be RJ Rusty with Monty Keller in 22nd. 23rd going to be Brain Fade and Kilojoules. Andrew Miller, LeBlanc Jr., BSR Nelly, and Ricky J rounding out your field of 28 drivers and trucks here tonight from the Daytona International Speedway. 28 trucks, 100 laps. Everyone gets to lead at least 2 laps, if everything's all nice and fair. Cannot promise you, though, that all the trucks will finish tonight's event. Got a couple stringing out this 03 on the bottom. Going to be a great night of racing, folks. You're going to want to make sure you stay tuned. Do not touch that search bar. Because, guess what? You're not going to want to move anywhere else besides right here on JTN. Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series action gonna return to JTN starting February the 17th from right here from Daytona. I'm gonna be live every Thursday night, all throughout the year, right here on your home for the Bomb Squad Racing League. Official broadcast partner, that's us, the JoeTowNetwork JTN. Bristol is looking forward to it immensely. It was fantastic being able to cover so much of the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series last season, and we're glad that we get to cover it all here in 2022. Brian Lovell and BSR Sean there, 43 and 38. Drafting here from Daytona, getting those last minute adjustments in. Brian going to take a pass at the pit lane. Make it down A-OK. Lovell goes around after a bump there. That is, didn't hit anything, so that truck's okay. Already had to roll out what is the backup here on the 088 team. Don't hit him, don't hit him. Oh. Now they're going to both need a backup. KJ might own. Oh, Greg a little bit. Something. Greg gave it back. Love to see it. Good looking Cascadia truck. Cascadia truck here. As the field will be lined up on the pit lane, drivers being called to their cars, and we'll have the command for you momentarily. The drivers get the command to fire up their stock racing trucks. The face truck will lead us off the pit lane again, lining up like this. Diesel and Brian Voiles on row number 1, with Tim Huston and Danny Hardee making up row number 2. Then it's Magoo and Wildman row 3, Silver Bullet, Greg Lovell, Chevy Chase, and BSR Steven, your top 10 here to start tonight's race from the Daytona International Speedway. Once again, so happy you're joining us. I'm Joe Tolanski here for JTN, the JoeTow Network. Can't thank you enough for tuning in here tonight. We've had a bunch of great racing the last couple weeks. We're going to have another great one here tonight from the Daytona International Speedway. Maybe you're missing the Clash being at Daytona. Well, we're going to have a Clash here tonight in the Lin Voiles Memorial 250 from Daytona. Of course, that 47 made famous by the namesake of this race, Brian Voiles, behind the wheel tonight, going to try to do one proud with those CSX nice looking blue and yellow colors on that Cadillac on the outside, but going to have a steep hill to climb here tonight. Diesel, of course, on the pole. We know Danny Hardee has been quick. And there's a bunch of other cats in this field tonight that are going to be looking for a victory at Daytona. There's nothing like winning at the world center of racing, the Daytona International Speedway. Field makes their way through turns 3 and 4 for the final time at this pace before we start the race. Flagman will drop that green flag as the Ford pace truck going to make the hard left turn down the pit lane. Hands the field over to a pair of GM Silverado. Diesel on the bottom. Green flag right away here from Daytona. Field rockets through turns 1 and 2. 95 out in front. Have Huston given a challenge there to Brian Voiles. That 81 starting to fall back. Not as much momentum going on that inside line. Top 3 about to be clear on the outside. Diesel, Voiles, and Hardee. Those top 3. All right, now BSR Steven trying to get on by top 5 now, single file at the front of the field. The bottom line is just not working in the early portion of this race. Look to see if that 81 and 144 decide they got a big enough gap to jump up. Will Magoo try to get in front of Silver Bullet. Huston going to have a little more time to make that decision. He decides to go up into that outside line. Now Magoo leads the bottom, and they continue to fall back. Not enough of a push right now on the bottom. We're single file up front. Ryan Voiles trying to find a way around Diesel for the lead. Trying to get some momentum going. Might just try to back up that truck to Danny Hardee to get a little bit of speed going, get a little push. Wildman looking to the inside in the 56. Good looking Chevrolet Silverado there on the bottom. Has the Chevy colors on it tonight. And now Wildman going to be going to the back in that 56. Finally got those audio receptors hooked up. You should hear these babies purr as these tough truckers continue to do the tough thing of racing here around the Daytona International Speedway. Single file through most of the field. First side by side is that 56 to the inside now of Eli in the 114. Also going to have that 032. There on the bottom. Brad Otto behind the wheel of that vehicle. That inside line continues to fall back here. As we go back up to the front of the field, Voiles content to sit behind this 95 Rock Financial Chevrolet of ECT Diesel 95. And folks, we got more great racing coming at you next Saturday with the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. It's part of East Coast Thunder. You're going to want to make sure you tune in to see a lot of these same players, a lot of the same faces putting on a fantastic show. Again, that's going to be next Saturday night, same place, same time, right here on JTN. Single file. Back half of the field, a little bit of racing, but other than that, 38 of BSR Sean has fallen off the pace, currently coming off a turn number 4 as the leaders are now exiting the corner, so that 38 looking like could be in danger of going a lap down here early. Not the situation you want to be in at a super speedway. We continue to watch the leaders here from Daytona. But once again, I'd like to remind you, as we always do, to hit the like button and subscribe to us here on JTN. It's a completely free way to help support us, as Silver Bullet's starting to get a push from Ricky J as they try to climb their way up through the field side-by-side racing. Right at the back half of the top 10 right now. So we'll be going by lap truck again. That's the 38. BSR Sean going to be 3 wide for a second going through the tri-oval. Not the situation that a lot of these drivers want to be in. They make it work. As Silver Bullet looking to make a little mixed drink of Crown Royal and Mellow Yellow. Don't think that would taste the best. This again, folks, is the 5th annual Lin Voiles Memorial 250 from the Daytona International Speedway. I'm JoeTowNetwork here with JTN's coverage of this event. An event that all the drivers want to win. Watching Sindone right now try to get something going. Got really close there with Brian Lovell in that 043. Look out. Saw a little bit of twitchiness there. Don't know if that was on our camera's end. As the noise and sound reverberates through here. Sindone now trying to lead that bottom as they're making up some time. Trying to find a way is now all the way up to 3rd. Bottom line starting to gain some momentum. Sindone to the inside of Hardee for the 3rd position. Things are about to get a little crazy here at the front half of the field. Sindone has a push from lead hog there in the 11. Silver Bullet, Ricky J, Chevy Chase, and Kilojoules. That's your top 6 on the bottom. Now starting to lose some ground. At outside line, we always talk about it here on the Super Speedway. It's going to gain a lot of time coming off the corners. As there's one blowing up, that's Kilojoules in the 029. Disaster strikes. As Brian Voiles now looks for the lead, he dives to the bottom to get by the 95. Looking for the lead for the first time tonight. Coming off a turn number 2. Going to get not a great push coming behind. As we're under caution for the first time tonight. Oil down on the track. You saw at the back of your screen. A tough night ender for BSR Kilojoules, KJ, and the 029 Wrangler Chevrolet. Great piece of driving, though, to understand when the motor blew, ducks out of line right away. That could have been a lot worse, especially with where that engine let go. Good piece of driving from the Wrangler Chevrolet pilot. So under caution for the first time tonight, it gives us a good chance to remind you about all the great coverage we have coming up here on JTN. Coming up in the next week, we got Excel Racing from New Smyrna. Monday night with the Dano Skins Pro Cup at 8:30 p.m. Then the Street Stocks at 8:30 on Tuesday, followed by the Modifieds right after, roughly 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Both of those races from the New Smyrna Speedway. Going to have New Smyrna Racing Wednesday night and Thursday night as well. That all being followed up by St. Valentine's Day Massacre on February the 12th. All those races, of course, presented by our friends at TWB Technologies, because together we're better and they're live only right here on JTN. Most of the field taking this opportunity to come down the pit lane. So we're probably going to have to make one more stop before halfway. All these drivers, of course, are going to want to claim that $25 bonus from Rolling Grill Barbecue. AJ, that did suck. Julian Wilson in chat. That it did indeed. Race off pit road. Field's going to stay pretty static. Danny Hardee losing a spot there to Greg Lovell in the 088. It'll be Pete Sindone rounding out your top 5. Lee Dog, Brian Lovell, Eli, Monty Keller, and the 87 of Elisor. Oh, your top 10 here for the restart, assuming the rest of these trucks decide to come down the pit lane. LeBlanc Jr. right now in the lead. And that number 84. Number 084. Apologies. Well, thank you, Fireball. Appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Got a great race going so far. Saw the field get strung out early on. One else that hasn't come down the pit lane except for Wings. Chester the Cheetah gonna lead here for a couple laps. And now, unfortunately, not unfortunately in terms of we don't want to talk to him, we are joined by the driver of the 029 Wrangler Chevrolet. KJ, do you have any warning that that motor was gonna go?
Honestly, Joe, I kind of got a bad feeling because when we were on the grid, getting ready to come off pit road, the car wouldn't start. I had to get a push start to get it going. And normally when that happens, I blow up. And it happened again. The clutch went out in it. I kind of figured it was coming. I just didn't know when it was coming. But yeah, I kind of expected it wasn't going to last.
Well, it lasted for, what, 12 laps or so? So, you know, you guys kind of started getting that inside line going. Why do you think everything got strung out so quick?
Honestly, I don't know. I just assumed everybody was making laps because it's a 100-lap race. And, you know, you don't want to be the guy who causes a big wreck and start the race. I don't really know why the bottom just fell apart as fast as it did. And me and Ricky were at the back, and we just kind of rode all the way from the back to like 15th. And I told Ricky, I said, if you want to go to the bottom, we'll go to the bottom. We'll try to make something happen. And I was waiting on his call to kind of make the move. And as soon as he did, Matt pulled down too, and we kind of got a little bitty line there going. And once you get a couple guys to go down there, you kind of get more people to go down there. We were making progress. It's just motor didn't hold out, so we'll see what happens here with the rest of them. But yeah, we were slowly creeping up there. We were getting about a car length a lap or something like that. You're not going to make huge gains on the bottom here. It's kind of like a you got to chip away at it to get up there.
I was going to say that outside lane just carries so much momentum, especially at this version of Daytona. It's kind of, you have to, you know, yeah, you're the shorter way around the track, but sometimes you got to have more race vehicles down there to be able to make up some of that time, especially with the pull they get coming off the corner and down the straightaways.
Yeah, and being on the bottom, it really, the front car really matters on the bottom. You got to have a guy who can hold a smooth line and who's got a good car who can lead. If you got somebody who's not a good lead car, that bottom, you're just going to stall out. You're not really going to go anywhere.
Well, I sent your PR person a note. Haven't gotten a response back, but how would you feel about joining us up here in the booth for the rest of tonight's race? That worked? I know you got those Wrangler jeans on already, so I figured you're a working man up here in the booth, right? So you're okay if Bristol puts you to work?
Yeah, we'll sit up here for a little bit. We'll see what happens. I got nothing else better to do. At least I didn't flip the car. That's always a positive here for me.
Hey,
just got to put a new clutch in it.
Being upside down, never a good thing at any racetrack, let alone Daytona, Talladega, where the oncoming traffic's going at such a high rate of speed. Got Diesel out front right now. Brian Voiles, row 1 as we started the race. Greg Lovell, Danny Hardee, row 2. Pete Sindone and Lee Dog. Brian Lovell, Eli, Monty Keller, and then it's that 87 Billy Ellisor rounding out your top 10 here for the restart. I have to see if that 95 gets as good of a jump. Have to believe he'll be able to do that and then pull up right in front of that 47 and look to get things strung out once again on the outside line. Fans on their feet once again here in the Tri-Oval grandstands. Back straightaway, they're sitting down. They got about half a lap, maybe 20 seconds or so before they got to get back on their feet. Diesel with control here into the restart zone we go. Green flag. We're back underway here from Daytona. Not a good restart. Big crash here in the center of the Tri-Oval. Caution out for the second time tonight. My goodness, what happened? Like someone just didn't go.
Maybe another motor problem or missing the gear.
Thought I caught it out the... This might start with the 114. See the replay on your screen now. Oh, it's 11. Lee Dog doesn't get going. I think you may be right. Might have lost a gear. Obviously, you've had your mechanical problems tonight. That's really frustrating as a driver, right?
Yeah, I just took a quick look at it. It looked like he took off, and I mean, just by judging by the replay, it looked like as soon as he shifted, it just kind of either blew the gear out or the motor let go. But yeah, kind of sucks because you know, you're ready to go again on a restart, and you know, something out of your control happens, and you know, can't do nothing about it. It happens, it happens.
What are they going to have to do now? Because obviously you can't put a new gear in it, right? You can't replace the transmission. What is Lee Dog going to have to do to kind of deal with this for the rest of the event?
Well, honestly, Joe, it depends on which gear it is. I mean, you're pretty much stuck with what you got. If it's like second gear or something like that, that's not going to hurt him too bad. First gear will hurt him coming out of the pits, but he won't. He'll be bad on restarts, but he should be able to hang with the pack as long as he gets going fast enough. So with if I was in his situation, I would try to not be the last car in line, because if you're the last car in line, you're going to lose the pack by the time you get up to speed. But if he only lost like second gear or something like that, he should be fine.
Well, the driver of the Chick-fil-A Chevrolet, see that rhymes, going to be looking to hopefully rebound here after some mechanical issues there on the restart. I'll have to keep your eye on the driver of the number 11. KJ, do you like die-cast cars?
I just got information, Joe, that he missed the shift. That's what happened. He didn't lose the gear. He just missed the shift right there.
Well, that's better. Right? I mean, that's...
Yeah, better for him. Not good for people behind him, but yeah.
Not good for everyone else that was involved.
Well, now, what were you saying, Joe, about
I was going to ask, do you like die-cast?
Yeah, I used to collect them a lot when I was younger. I'm kind of old now. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of die-cast right beside me.
Well, that was definitely a shot across the bow at me. But anyways, folks at home, you can now use code JTN at checkout for free shipping on your order of $20 or more now at CircleBDiecast.com. Circle Diecast is your home for all your racing-related memorabilia needs. They have hats, t-shirts, and, of course, diecasts right in the name. CircleBDiecast.com, code JTN at checkout. You'll receive free shipping on your order of $20 or more. Save you a lot of money. I know it saved me at least $10 per order Again, that's circlediecast.com, code JTN at checkout for free shipping on your order of $20 or more. Bam.
Kind of curious to see. We really only got going there for just a split second. Who kind of tops off here and who kind of stays out?
Yeah, we're still at that point where we need one stop to make it to the end, to make it to our halfway break, or our halfway payout, right?
Yeah, about 80 laps to go here. It was saying 31 laps coming off pit road, but you're not really going to get 31 laps.
Right.
Probably going to get around 28, somewhere in there. I always rather have more fuel than not enough fuel.
Right.
But if you top off here, it looks like everybody's coming in anyway. But you top off here, you kind of make sure you can get to close to halfway, at least. Maybe if you clutch or save a little bit of gas, you can get to halfway.
This is where you have a league full of savvy veterans, right? They kind of know what to do in this situation. They're all going to have the same similar idea.
Yeah, normally these plate tracks, you kind of see, it's kind of follow the leader. Whatever the leader does this early in the race, you just kind of follow them down. You kind of see also what everybody's strategy is for the race. If you want to stay out front, keep track position, or if you want to just make sure you got gas to get that far.
Is it because the belief that, the common belief at all these super speedways is, oh, it's so easy to pass, I can make a difference behind the wheel, I can get up there and pass, the track position just doesn't matter, so that's why you follow the leader? Because a lot of times that whole follow the leader sentiment, it's something that's might be frowned upon depending on the track we're at.
Yeah, unless you're me, you got a good chance of finishing. But yeah, the draft is so strong, especially in these CTS physics. You're not really going to lose the draft unless you just do something like really bad at the start, or if there's a huge checkup. And tires really don't matter at Daytona. It's more of fuel. You want to make sure you have the fuel to get as far as you want to go. It's not really going to lose anything. You just lose the track position, but normally you can make it back up with CTS physics.
A couple folks going to have to make up a lot of track position involved in that incident. Right now, top four have stayed out. Wait and see if they decide to come down the pit lane this last opportunity. Now, KJ, we've talked about, we've had two really cool races, two important races to open the year here with our coverage of Bomb Squad racing. What makes tonight so special, just like the other two events?
It's a tribute memorial race, so you always want to make sure you put on a good race. These types of races like this, it don't really matter who wins. You just want to make sure you put a good race on for everybody watching, for the broadcast, and for the league in general. Like tonight, Lin Voiles. If you're in a chance, you want to help Brian win. But it doesn't really matter who wins these races. You just want to put on a good show.
Now, does it not matter who wins because you're out of the race early? So it didn't really matter? Or...
these races never matter to me, Joe. I'm not going to say like it don't matter, but I don't really care if I win them or not. I just want to try to finish the race. I mean, if I was behind Brian, I would try to help Brian win. If I was by whoever I'm behind at the end of the race, unless I get like something crazy happens and I get a chance to go for the win, I'm usually going to push that guy to the win. I'm curious to see if Danny can pull off a three-peat tonight, because I told him the other day, I said if Danny wins all three of these races, I'm going to just do something crazy. I don't know.
I was going to say he's been hot to start the year. That we talked about it before your misfortune tonight, but obviously the Cup Series kicking off on the 17th. Danny's got to be the favorite to win that race here at Daytona, right, with the Cup cars?
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past Danny to win. The last few seasons, Danny's came out of the box pretty hot. And I've seen in other leagues, he's won a couple of the first races. I've seen him win the first race here. It wouldn't surprise me if Danny came out of the box winning the first few races.
We will have to wait and see. And folks, that's why you want to make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you don't want to miss a second of the action. Again, Bomb Squad Cup Series returning here to JTN, kicking off the season February the 17th right here at the Daytona International Speedway. Gonna be Wildman leading us back to green in that number 56. Now elect.
Looks like we got some guys. Don't interrupt you, Joe. Look, we got some guys topping off again.
And that just feeds back into that strategy. I want as much fuel in the tank as possible.
Yeah, it's early enough in the race. You can kind of get away with doing this. Later in the race, you don't want to give up the track position, but early like this, you kind of just, unless you want to go to the front and lead a lot, fuel plays more of a factor than track position this early in the race.
Well, who wants to lead right now? I mean, you just want to, if anything, you just lead that last lap. That's all you, especially tonight with no points on the line. So we line up like this. Wildman with control there, going to be on the outside with Brad Otto and the 032 on the bottom, then Silver Bullet and Eli. Diesel and Brian Voiles making up row number 3. Danny Hardee, Greg Lovell, Tim Huston, and Chevy Chase, your top 10 here for the restart on lap 23 of 100.
Yeah, Joe, I think we're going to see the same thing here. If we can get going good here this time, everybody's going to kind of just line up and get single file and ride around.
Just ride around, just have some fun, right? Just have some fun, get the laps off, get to that halfway point, breathe a sigh of relief that your car didn't explode, or your truck didn't explode. Hopefully your car in the parking lot didn't explode either. That would be bad. That would, ugh. Bunch of misfortunes. It's not fun when your car explodes in the game and then...
I mean, is that a shot back at me, Joe? Because I feel like you're talking about my truck tonight. But, yeah, I think we'll see the same thing here. Everybody, once we get going, everybody will line up single file for a couple laps, and then you'll see some guys try to go to the bottom, and then we'll just see that kind of stationary move until pit stops.
KJ, I'm always gushing over you up here in the booth because usually it's the top 3 finish. You know, got to make sure I bring it back down to earth before the season starts. All right. Field handed over to Wildman on the outside in the 56. Back down and away we go. Green flag here, lap 23 of 100.
So that top line is a little more organized up front, so they're probably going to get a pretty good push down the backstretch.
Have some fast trucks up there, too. You got Voiles in that 47 behind Eli. You also have Lovell on the 088, but right now that inside making a charge back down the back straightaway.
Might be 3 wide here going to turn 3.
That's not where you want to be if you're Diesel in that 95 in the middle. Oh, buddy. Did you just hold your breath like I did? I'm still holding it. I don't know how I'm talking.
I'm kind of waiting to see what happens here, but they got organized. They're back to 2 wide again. I thought Ricky was going to follow him through there, but Ricky backed out, and I think Diesel found a hole to go into the high side there.
Now he's going to be stuck in the middle again. That's Ricky J in the 193. Monty Keller stuck on the outside. What a bully that Ricky J is.
Monty kind of gave him a little bit of a break right there, let him in. If that was been later in the race, I think Monty would have stayed out there a little harder.
He just bullied his way up in there. Silver Bullet now looking through the middle to the inside of Monty Keller. Saw what Ricky J did. Trying to do the same. That's going to... That 032 losing some ground there on the bottom. Back up front, though, Brian Voiles has taken over the lead for the first time tonight. Has Diesel and Greg Lovell in tow, those 3. Free and clear. The rest of the field are going to take Chevy Chase and Ricky J with them on the bottom. So much for these boys getting single file early in the run, huh?
Yeah, I thought they just ride around and make laps. I guess they heard me say something, so they said, no, we're not going to do that.
Let me tell you, y'all always like to prove us wrong up here in the booth, so now you're getting a little taste of your own medicine.
Yeah, I heard you and Ricky say that one week. We're listening to y'all. Whatever y'all say, we do the opposite.
Makes us look like we don't know what we're talking about, and half the time that's probably true. Probably more like 75 to 80% of the time, but sometimes we do know what we're talking about, and that's when it's really frustrating. Silver Bullet to the inside of Keller.
Yeah, looks like the top 7 kind of got a straight line here going. Everybody's kind of moving, working their way up to the top. Matt's trying to get that bottom line silver bullet there. He's trying to pull them on that bottom, but the top. When you get guys like this so connected, they just run around you on the outside. There's so much momentum off the corners.
Has a good pusher behind him, though. That's Danny Hardee in the 03, but just not the numbers right now on the bottom. Everyone kind of stringing around that middle outside line, straddling that second stripe. And Brian Voiles just trying to string this field along and be the Pied Piper here tonight from Daytona.
Yeah, Brian's always got a fast truck when you come to these plate tracks. So anytime you get Brian up front, he's pretty hard to pass, especially if he gets Ricky right on his bumper. They draft pretty good together.
It's funny, when you get teammates together, it's usually hard. You can sometimes you can get one of them, but you can never get both of them. How much does it mean to have a teammate here at these plate tracks?
Well, if you can, you want that teammate with you. You want that teammate to stay behind you if possible. But you're really, at these plate tracks, you're really at the mercy of whoever's behind you, whoever's in front of you. It don't really matter what you do. It's more about what the people around you do. Dictates if you win or if you finish up front or, something happens to you. But it's always a benefit to have that teammate behind you because you can talk to them. You trust them a little more than having somebody else behind you or in front of you. And if you're going to make a move, you can talk to that teammate and y'all both on the same page, make a move or stay in line or anything like that. It's always a benefit to have a teammate around you.
What I'm really hearing is it's a big trust thing, right? You can't trust somebody unless they have that same team logo on the truck.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, even at the end of the race, teammate thing kind of goes out the window unless you'll have an agreement. But especially if it's early in the race, if you're just making laps like it seems like the front guys are here now, you want that teammate behind you because you just know that guy. You can talk to that guy. You can talk about what you want to do, and you kind of get your plans together for pit stops and stuff like that. And your teammate's not going to put you in a bad position either, more than likely, unless something happens or miscommunication. The teammate's going to stay behind you. He's going to work with you instead of trying to pass you or doing something crazy.
I was going to say, I don't know what teammates you've had, but I've had teammates put me in a lot of bad situations in the past, so you're a little bit better at picking them than I am.
I don't know. I got Mac Daddy as a teammate. You've seen how he drives.
Well, sometimes it's because of a little bit of the bubbly. Coming off of turn number 4, Voiles still leading. We're single file throughout. That first truck on the bottom's Danny Hardee in 03. Magoo going to try to go with them, see if they can't get something going there. Really not a lot of movement in terms of trying to form that second line here. As everyone pretty content to just log these laps.
Yeah, you're about deep on the top now. If you're on the bottom, Joe, this far back, you're kind of you might want to just kind of give up for now. Unless you see somebody pull down higher up the field, you're just going to go to the back. The top's so fast when you got this many guys in a straight line, especially when nobody's under them pulling them back. You just kind of want to regroup and start over or find a hole to get in as best you can and just make laps and just see what happens if somebody in front of you pulls out. Then you can kind of go at it again.
Big move there from Sindone in the 1, getting to the bottom. Oh no, there goes the 56 Wild Man. Hard into the inside wall. He's still in the grass. On the apron, we stay green. Let's get you a replay. It's like a bump gone wrong from the 114. And that was a heavy hit to the front end. Got to be some engine damage there on the 56. Well, if you see that in your rear view mirror, are you getting a little worried about guys maybe pushing a little bit now that the tires are a little worn in?
Honestly, you see that guy go across track, it's like, did the caution come out? But I was looking at, did the caution come out? But it depends on how the wreck happened. If it was a bad bump, you kind of just, that kind of happens. But if it was like anything else, you'd be kind of worried about what's going on. But if it was like a bad bumper grab thing, you just go on and keep racing.
I know you're Mr. Calm, Cool, and Collected, but bad bumps still makes you angry, right?
Oh, yeah, especially if I'm the one going through the grass. Yeah, I get pretty mad.
Have to watch how that plays out, see if the 56 might hang that 114 out to dry if given the opportunity later on in this race. Most of the field's still packed up right now. We're still single file throughout.
Yeah, it looks like that bottom line, Joe, kind of just fell apart completely, and they all worked themselves back in the high side. So we're pretty much single file at the top lane all the way around the track.
They saw that truck go to the extreme inside, and they said, whoa, 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 whoa. We didn't want to go that far. And Brian, right now he's leading this thing, right? And we talked about the fuel, 31, 28, whatever it may be. As the leader, you're burning more gas. Is there anything that creeps into your mind about maybe giving over this lead to try to save something? Or do you, obviously a lot on, maybe a little more sentimental favorite here tonight is Voiles in the 47, but is there maybe a thought or two about giving up the lead just to maybe save a little bit of fuel running second or third?
It really depends on what strategy Brian's doing. I heard we're pitting here in about 9 or 10 laps there. We're going to be pitting. That's going to put them close to the halfway point when everybody comes back out. I don't know if that one lap will matter. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I wouldn't give up the lead one lap, me personally. I'd rather stay out front.
Also, the sponsors don't want you to give up the lead because then you lose some TV time.
Yeah, exactly. And they're the ones who pay the bills. They're the ones who pay for the trucks. But yeah, I think we're pitting in less than 10 laps. So, everybody's going to get single file or stay single file here. And then we'll see what everybody's strategy is. So you're going to have some people pitting early to try to get back out. And then everybody's racing to the halfway point.
How much of that pitting early, too, is maybe to avoid coming down with too many trucks? Maybe avoid an incident. I don't know how many times I've seen a wreck come to pit lane here at Daytona. But is that also part of it, making sure that you're in a group that you trust, or a small group at least?
Yeah, that goes back to the whole teammate thing, Joe. You kind of want to, if you get your teammates, you want to pit with them, and you want to pit in the smallest pack you can, but you want people pitting with you. Because normally here, it gets so congested on pit entry when the field pits. You can make up a lot of time if you either pit a lap early or pit a lap later. And that goes into the strategy of what your race is. If you're trying to stay out front, you want to make sure you pit. I would pit a lap early unless I had a pit strategy and a fuel mileage thing I was looking at. Because normally there's something happens when the field pits. So either a wreck or somebody spins. You can lose a lot of time and lose the draft that way.
That's the only key here. It's going to be not to lose the draft. There's Wild Man going down a lap. Spun through the grass, exiting the tri-oval. Had heavy contact to the inside wall at 56. Going to try to hopefully pick up to the tail end of this thing and stay up with this lead pack. Hopefully not lose another lap before the next caution. Folks, we can't thank you enough for tuning in here tonight to JTN. I'm Joe Twansky. We're joined by KJ. You want me to keep calling you KJ? You want me to call you by your real name? Government name?
We don't do the government name on the broadcast.
All right.
You can go with KJ. KJ's fine.
Okay. We're joined by KJ tonight after an early incident. Can't thank you enough for joining us. Can't thank the Wrangler Jeans Company for handing you over. But we usually ask you to shout out folks at the end of the race. Well, we got a little lull here before pit stops. Anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, I think my mom's watching tonight, so say hi to my mom. She usually watches these things. I want to go and get out of the way since I won't be getting an interview tonight. So, hey, Mom, and my wife's probably watching too. So, hey to my wife also. So let me get that one in there. Go ahead and get that out of the way.
Look at you.
It looks like Wild Man's down power because he lost the draft already. I'm surprised he's still running as hard as he gets the ball. Kind of shocking he's still as fast as he is.
Sometimes you're just out there for the for yourself, for the pride, right?
Yeah, you don't want to retire if you can help it. And with these races like this, you want to try to just stay in the race because, A, you never know what will happen. You might get a good finish out of it. And B, you want to stay out here because it's a memorial race. You want to stay out here on the track as long as you can with everybody.
Starting to see these drivers migrate their way to the bottom. Are those pit stops? I think they're going to be here in a second.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that everybody went from the top to run in the middle. Now they're down the bottom, Joe, so we're going to see who starts coming in first.
Here we go, coming off the corner. Well, nobody decided to come that time.
Yeah, I'm getting through, Joe. Probably about 3 or 4 more laps. Everybody's getting in position here. You don't want to get stuck on the outside if you got to pit, because you'll lose a bunch of time by yourself, or you won't make it back around.
Just a bunch of teases out there right now, I think. They're putting Silver Bullet a lap down. What happened with the 4? Did he just come to pit lane already?
Yeah, he already pitted.
Okay.
He just told me he already pitted.
We're gonna go a lap down here. That's not what you want. You don't want to be alone either, especially when the rest of these race trucks decide to come down the pit lane. Coming off turn 4. No taker. Danny Hardee going to be a taker.
Coming in.
Be a lonely place for the 03 Hardee's Chevrolet.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious why he's pitting early, because he told me he could go a couple more laps. Curious to see how this works out for him. I think he's going to be like Matt. He's going to lose the draft, and he'll get sucked in by the pack.
You don't want to go down a lap here at a super speedway. You don't want to, especially not under green. Let's see how many takers there's going to be this time. Coming off of turn number 4, Voiles still leads. Diesel, Greg Lovell. Here we go. About 8.
Yeah, looks like they all make it. Nobody has any problems getting on pit road. Looks like they all made it pretty well.
Lovell makes up 2 spots coming down the pit lane. Really aggressive there with that Texaco Ford.
Yeah, you want to get in the box, get a good clean stop, and you want to try to get connected to that guy in front of you coming off pit road. That's where you make all your time up, is off pit road. If you can get that guy, get him going, and draft up the speed, you'll gain a bunch of time that way.
Back up to the front of the field, Chevy Chase leads. Got Ricky J there in second. Chevy coming on down. Brain fade with a big moment there, getting on the binders. Looks like we're all okay coming to the pit lane. A lot of trucks this time, 11. I did my quick counts right. It's like
Looks
RJ.
like Diesel and Brian are getting connected here on the backstretch, so we'll see how that works out with them pitting that lap early. But I think they're going to have a head of steam, and they should clear them going into 1 and 2.
I always like being the last one to pit, but if I know I got somebody that I can trust to get off the pit lane quick, I feel a little more comfortable, right? These two, they qualified on the front row, so their boxes were right next to each other. Another driver to watch, that's Danny Hardee in the 03. He's gained a lot of time, a lot of spots here on the pit lane if everything cycles through the way it's looking. Right now, 6th in this pack. It's already up to speed. They're coming up on the rest of the trucks that are making their way off the pit lane. I think these guys did a little bit better job of getting off the pit lane together to see where everything shakes out, because of course Brian, he's got a big head of steam right now with that 95 in tow.
Yeah, they all should clear Ricky and Brain right there, and they'll fall in line behind them, and we'll just ride around, see what happens next. 'Cause you got halfway coming here in about 6-7 laps. I think it'll pick up here a little bit in a couple laps once everybody gets caught back up.
Well, it doesn't help too that these top 4 right now on the track, they're side by side, 2 by 2.
Yeah, you're going to have a huge run. I think you may see a 3 wide right here coming off the corner.
Let's see what Voiles does. He's kind of trapped, not really anywhere to go to the outside of these guys. Gonna look to split the middle. Big move there by Brian Voiles in the 47 CSX Cadillac. Now through the middle to the inside of Chevy Chase for the lead. And move Voiles to the point once again here from Daytona. That was about the craziest thing we've seen all night.
I kind of figured it was coming. They had a head of steam, and the track was kind of blocked. I wouldn't have gave up that run I had, so he did the same thing I would have done. But they all made it. That's the important part. Everybody made it.
Now, if they didn't make it, since you're up here in the booth, you wouldn't have to say that's what you would have done. That's the beauty, right? We get to look at everything in hindsight.
Oh yeah, and I'm in the booth too, so I can't say what I would say if I didn't make it. But yeah, it wouldn't have been good. But it looks like we got about a 10 trucks up front here, and that's nice. The front little pack here. The back part, Brain and I can't see who that is, but they're going to get a nice little run here, and I think they're going to have a head of steam here coming to lap 50, and we're going to see who gets that halfway lap lead.
Well, of course, $25 on the line from Rolling Grill Barbecue to watch to see if that 47 truck can get it done. Hungry Cats, though, they're behind him with Allosaurus and Down, and of course, Diesel. Need 4 laps to go to halfway at this time.
Yeah, and they're all in a straight line like this to kind of spread out. So the back 2 trucks, Magoo and Brain, they're going to have a hard time pulling up until everybody gets back on top of each other. You go so fast in a straight line, when you get that much of a gap, it takes you a long time to pull back up. But as I say that, Danny's going to the bottom here. So as you see, they just sucked right back up to him as soon as Danny pulled out.
Danny making a plea to maybe make the rest of those guys go with him on the bottom.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work by yourself.
Look, guys, I went to the bottom to try to help you catch up. Go with me. And they decide to go to the outside.
But you look at it this way from a racer's point of view. Danny pulled out. So if you think about it later in the race, you know Danny's not going to ride. He's going to go. So if I was trying to get to the front, I would get behind someone like Danny who's pulling up past now. Because you know they're not going to ride around to the end. They're going to try to get to the front.
Yeah, how many mental notes are you taking right now, knowing that, this is kind of a pseudo race end situation?
Well, normally these races like this, you can't really go anywhere. You can go to the front, you can go to the back, but you can't go anywhere. You're not going to drive away from anybody. You just kind of learn what your truck can do and can't do. Put yourself in positions that way later in the race, am I better on the top? Am I better on the bottom? Am I better with this guy behind me or that guy behind me? Am I better pushing or leading? Stuff like that. You just kind of build it up in your data bank here for the last 10 laps of the race. You know what you got. You know what you need to do.
2 laps to go to halfway. Who are you picking? You have to think it's Brian right now, right? He's got control of this race. Really, that inside line, there's still 4 trucks back. I don't think it's going to be enough time unless Source and Doan decide to make a wild move to the bottom.
Yeah, the bottom's coming. They just don't have enough people based on the top. I think somebody in that 3rd or 4th position is going to pull out here in a minute. And once they pull out, all bets are off. But the bottom line is they're slowly creeping up there. But yeah, it looks like Brian's going to lead it unless somebody pulls out behind him.
This time at the line, it'll be lap number 50. So whoever leads this one next time around will take home that $25. It's a little bit of an extra prize on the line. Voiles still has control. Seems starting to creep down the track too, trying to maybe put himself in a better position to defend high, defend low. We come down the back straightaway. Brian Lovell.
43 looking low, so he's looking to make something happen.
He's trying. Brian Lovell there on the bottom. Not enough of a push behind, coming off of turn number 4. Brian Voiles taking home the halfway check. $25. His bank account. We stay green, though. So now what's the next marker? Well, it's pit stops once again.
Yeah, I can guarantee you if that was the white flag left, you wouldn't have seen them riding like that.
They're a little nicer.
Yeah, it's still halfway, so you're going to be a little more courteous to your other drivers right now. But if that was the end of the race, all bets are off. But they're still trying on that bottom, Joe. They're slowly making their way to the front.
I think the thought right now has got to be, if not now, when? If you let these guys up front get single file, is a big move there from Sindone. If you let these guys get single file in front of you, I mean, you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah, and if everybody gets single file, it's really hard to do anything by yourself. But yeah, it looks like they're all kind of going single file now. They're all looking to ride around a little bit.
How do you balance, too? Sometimes, I know in my experience, you're out there, you see a guy that keeps pulling to the bottom, keeps trying to make moves. How much, though, are you conscious of making sure that you're not ruffling too many feathers, you're not making too many moves to where maybe guys don't want to work with you because you're too unpredictable late in the race?
Well, anybody can make a move, but you want to see what kind of move that guy's making. Are they good moves, or are they just like Hail Marys? If they're Hail Marys, that's probably not a guy you want to go with, because he's going to do something at the end of the race that's going to put you in a bad spot, or it's going to just be a bad choice, which means you're going to get blocked behind him and you're going to lose all momentum. But at this point in the race, I would be just riding around and I'd be watching, kind of seeing who's got what. And I would poke my nose out there a little bit just to see what I got, if I can complete a pass every now and then. But yeah, especially this far back, kind of where Danny, Ricky, and Magoo are, I'd want to have somebody in front of me that's willing to do something. I'd like to see a guy ducking out low, because I personally hate riding around like this. To me, that's boring. I like trying to pass somebody, trying to get to the front, because I learn more that way than just riding around like I am right now.
Folks, you're just riding around right now, putting a couple trucks a lap down. It's 510 BSR Steven 124 BSR Beer Run. Manny D in the 710. Oh, contact there, Magoo.
Did he save it?
No, he's going around. He's coming back up the track. See what happens. Gets it rolling. We stay green. And Bomb Squad officials being very... They're sitting on those yellow flags tonight.
Yeah, I know these guys who just got lapped were kind of hoping that yellow flag would come out. But he got going, so we're still green.
It's like just not...
We got some bumps here in turn one, pretty wide. Yeah, I think what happened, Joe, is it looked like from what I seen there was a bumper grab type of deal. He bumped, the guy in front of him moved a little bit, and they kind of got bumpers locked, and he kind of spun around a little bit. But he got going before that next pack caught him, so more than likely that's why we didn't get the caution.
It looked like Monty Keller gave him a bump, and then he gave a bump to Ricky J, and like you said, just that little bit of bumper grab. So one of those situations where you kind of just throw your hands up and go, well, I couldn't have really done anything different there. You got to move on from it. You got to put it in your rear view.
Yeah, it's still a long race. You still got 40-some laps there. You got plenty of time to make up for it.
Nonetheless, No Magoo is going to be pretty frustrated.
But it looks like everybody's back single file up front, Joe. I figured the car that just got lapped would be trying to get to the front to either unlap themselves or just be that first car lap down in case the caution come out. But everybody's single file right now.
Right now, I believe free pass would be the 510 of BSR Steven. Danny D coming off the pit lane. Well, folks, while we're sitting here single file, I'd like to remind you that new in 2022, well, it's JTN2. Make sure you head on over. Again, that's JTN2 right here on YouTube. Go hit that subscribe button over there if you haven't already. It's going to be our home for all of our non-live content, including the Fake Racers podcast, our new show, Disqualified, looking at failed F1 teams, and much, much more. Again, that's JTN2. It's going to be, once again, your home for all of our non-live content, as well as select live events. Go check it out at the conclusion of our race tonight. Again, JTN2 right here on YouTube.com. Got a radio report from Magoo. Can't really make it out, though. Like a lot of gibberish. Did you see? He mounted a plasma TV where like a passenger seat would go in that race car to make sure he was watching JTN during the race.
I did not see that, but that would explain some things, Joe. How big is the TV? I'm just curious.
It's a pretty healthy size. You can still see over it out the right side passenger window, but you know, so it's parallel to the motion of the truck, right? So you can still see everything out the front windshield, but it's kind of like a little bit of a distraction to his right. So that might have been why he was kind of leaning to the right tonight. I don't know if you noticed that. I noticed it from the windshield. It looked like, you know, might have had the head turned just a little bit.
Well, so what you're saying is don't ever pass him to the right because he can't see me because of the TV.
Always look to the inside. Yep. Well, Voiles starting to take the field to the bottom.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Joe, I'm getting reports that we're going to see some pit stops here in a couple laps again.
Well, we got through the first set, knock on wood, clean. We'll see what the second set of green flag pit stops has in store. Brian Voiles, your leader. Diesel, Billy Ellisor, your top three. Lovell looking on the outside, so I have to think that 043, the one Sindone Chevy Chase, they're going to be waiting a couple extra laps here once again to make the run to pit lane. Danny Hardee going to be the first taker. Did a good job last time of making sure he kept contact with the pack despite pitting alone. We'll look to do the same thing this time in that 03 Hardee's Chevrolet.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how this works for Danny. He's getting in really clean because he don't have anybody else pitting with him, but he's losing laps on the fuel mileage. I think this time when he comes out, he's going to blend in with this other pack. He might not get hurt that bad. He's just going to have less fuel and everything. So we'll see what happens here. He made up a lot of time last time. He'll probably end up doing it again if he can blend in with this pack coming around.
I think everyone's going to have to pit one more time, too. So I don't know how much it's going to hurt him. You know, I think the only way he really gets hurt is if there's a caution in the middle of this cycle, right? I think that's probably where he would get hurt. Got 6 takers down the pit lane.
Well, if he can catch a caution after he makes his last pit stop and not have to pit again, he'll look like a genius.
That's true.
It all depends on if the caution does come out after he pits. And then Danny will make me look like a fool again. So I mean, you never know. I ain't gonna doubt Danny with the decisions he makes.
Got Zach Rogers in chat. Being a bully. That's not very nice. Asking what my sentences were. KJ, I'm putting together some great sentences up here. And you are too.
I mean, I can understand what you're saying, Joe. I mean, I don't know if that means a lot, but I get you.
Can't thank you folks all enough for tuning in here tonight, watching Chevy Chase, currently your leader. We're in the middle of a green flag pit cycle. Have to see how these 5 trucks left out on track cycle through. But cannot thank you enough for tuning in here tonight to JTN. I'm Joe. We're joined by special guest KJ after an early race mechanical failure for the driver of the 029. Gracious enough to join us up here in the booth. Give us that driver's perspective here tonight. Once again, we cannot thank you folks enough. It's a big moment there for Eli. Looks like the 124 kind of going to have to come down the pit lane. A Chevy Chase, I don't know, might have been a speeding coming down the pit lane. That was mighty aggressive.
Yeah, it looks like the 95 and the 47 got hooked up pretty good again coming out of pit road. A huge gap to the next set of people, and they got one truck just barely hanging on to them, but they got a head of steam coming down the backstretch.
And Diesel hopped Voiles there. Another important thing to note. Oh, Chevy's going around coming off the pit lane. Oh, no. Usually we don't catch these things.
It looks like he tried to get in a little too hard coming out of the pit road, Joe, because I was watching that pack come off. Sometimes if you don't come out pit road in the right spot, you get a little bit of wheel spin. That's kind of like what happened right there, but he spun so far enough down the track, I don't think the caution ever came out because he's so far away from the actual track.
After such a masterful pit entry.
Hey, you talked him up. See what happened?
Hey, blame that one on Zach in chat. So Diesel back to the lead, but now going to have those two teammates hooked up right behind him. That's... I think you handicapped that duo there with Voiles and Ricky J earlier on in the race.
Yeah, and I kind of figured it was going to happen. We pitted again under green, and the pack got a little bit smaller. You'll probably see that next time under green. The pack will get a little bit smaller again.
Kind of like when you have a bag of chips, right? You take one chip, and then you take another chip, and then eventually you don't have any chips left. Yeah, it was a great analogy.
Well, with these plate tracks, you can set your gear up two different ways. You can set up for a bigger pack, or you can set it up for a smaller pack. Sometimes these smaller packs help you or hurt you. It just depends on how the gear is. Like somebody in the pack right now, they could be set up for, a smaller pack, and as these people drop off the lead pack, they get better and better. So even though you see Brian and Diesel leading right now, somebody in that front pack, the later we go in this race, they could slowly work their way to the front.
I would just be so terrified right now.
Yeah, it looks like Joe pitting us a couple laps early this time kind of hurt Danny a little bit. He lost the lead pack. It's him and I think Brian Lovell are by themselves riding around.
Well, that could be the chance at the three-peat down the drain if things stay the way they have been for most of the race. We really haven't seen those cautions.
Still a long way to go. You still got 30-some laps to go here. Anything can happen. But yeah, right now it don't look too good for them because they're losing over a second a lap to that lead pack.
Folks, while we're single file here once again, would like to remind you to check out the JTN merch store. Just posted a link in chat. Got a bunch of great merch up there. Got our JTN logo merch, our race car merch. Gonna have some next-gen versions of that coming at you shortly. Also have a bunch of USORL driver merch, some other drivers merch, as well as your boy, old Mac Daddy's got a shirt up there on the JTN merch store. So go check that out now if you can and you want to go that extra mile to help support us on JTN. Go check out the JTN merch store and refresh your wardrobe. You'll be looking super fly wearing anything on there. That Bristol, he curates the whole merch store. KJ, he does a great job of picking out the designs despite his color blindness as a dog. He does a fantastic job. So they're Bristol. All those designs are Bristol approved. So that just automatically makes them great. Oh no, Ricky J around. I think did he blow up?
I'd have to look to get a double check, Joe, but I think that was another bumper grab coming to the tri-oval.
Let's get you a replay as it looks like caution might be out. Like you said, just another bumper grab. No, we stay green.
Yeah, look, Nelly had a run coming to the tri-oval, and he bumped him just at it's not really a bad spot, it's just,
not a good one.
Bumper grab. He has to run the tri-oval, but he just got his back end a little bit loose, and he just turned down towards the wall.
Well, now Brian doesn't have his boy behind him.
Yeah, that front pack's getting smaller and smaller.
Just keep chipping away. There's just 6 of them left. Gonna add Magoo here, hopefully, so that'll make it 7.
Yeah, 6 leaders and 4 or 5 lead cars, and you got Magoo may hang on. They were so fast when they got him. Magoo might lose. But yeah, lap cars and you got the lead lappers. You got two different races going on here at the front.
Well, we continue to thin the herd here from Daytona. Cannot thank you enough for tuning in here tonight to JTN's coverage of the Lin Voiles Memorial 250. Make sure if you haven't already, you hit the like button on the video and subscribe. It does so much to help support not only us here at JTN, but also the drivers here at Bomb Squad Racing. It shows that you love, you appreciate all the hard racing they put out there. And again, the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series returns to JTN on February the 17th, right here from the Daytona International Speedway. That event kicking off 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time, so mark it down on your calendar. Make sure you're ready to come watch some Bomb Squad racing. Probably it might be a second screen viewing experience for you that night, because of course the Daytona duel's going on. But we can't thank you enough, as always, for all your support here on JTN and your support of the Bomb Squad Racing League. A lot of folks tuning in tonight, KJ. A lot of folks tuning in.
Yeah, they must have knew I was in the booth, Joe, so you're welcome.
Did you see we had like 400 people concurrent last night? It was crazy.
No, I haven't had a chance to look at that yet. Well, that was kind of late, partying with a friend of mine. But I have to look into that. But that's a pretty good number to get.
Right now, you know, we're sitting here under 30 laps to go. One more pit stop left. If you're behind the wheel, are you building these last 30 laps? You know, are you maybe, you know, just trying to get to that next pit stop? Or are you trying to figure out your strategy to the end of the race? For you personally, when you look at 30 laps left in a big race like this, you see the field starting to thin at the front. How are you setting up your game plan mentally? Or are you even setting up a game plan mentally? Or are you just going to kind of fly by the seat of your pants, getting it going?
Well, you know, you're pretty much coming to your last stop, I would assume here. It's the money stop. You don't want to screw this thing up, because it'll take you out of the race pretty quick. You got what you wanted. Yeah, you got a 6-car breakaway. The pack behind you is not really good action. Don't mess up this last stop. You're going to be racing for the lead at the end of the race here. Basically, you just don't want to mess this stop up. You want a nice clean stop, come out, blend with somebody if possible, and get back up to speed, and just get back like you are right now in a line, and just ride around towards the end of the race. You might want to throw, if you want to throw a little bit extra tape on or something like that, now's the time to do it, coming to your next stop here.
I was going to say, it's going to probably be the shortest green flag run to the end, too, right? I mean, it's the way things are breaking down. Are you looking at 15, 20 laps?
Yeah, we should be pitting here in about 10 more laps, so you're looking at somewhere around 15 to 20, depending on how's everybody's fuel looking. But yeah, it's going to be a short run to the end. You can kind of get away with some more tape, but also when you're in this little pack like this, you're going to be running faster, and it's going to be harder to make moves on people. The position you're in when you're coming off the pit road is really going to matter how you race the end of the race there.
And tape's really the only adjustment that you're going to be able to do to help you speed-wise, right? Because everyone's probably running tire pressures already as high up as they can and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, there's not much you can change at a plate track because a lot of it's locked. You can't really make an adjustment on the back end. The only thing you can really change is wedge, maybe track bar. Those don't really help a lot here unless you're just really tight or really loose. The best adjustment you can make is a tape adjustment, and that's also pretty quick. It don't slow you down the pit stop either. I don't think you're going to take 4 tires here. I think you're going to take 2, just to make sure you don't have a jack prop or anything. You're going to take 2 and fill it up, and then get back out as fast as you can.
Do you take the risk of don't even take any tires, just do the fuel and go?
It depends if you flat spot them. If you flat spot them coming in, you got to get tires. You don't have to get tires here in these trucks. You don't lift, and it don't really help you out a lot. It might help you maneuver a little bit, but it's not going to make you any faster.
I know what I usually like to do is I'll take like the right sides one stop, I'll take the left sides the next stop, which you do those left sides and it messes up the balance of the truck. But then that final stop, right, then you can take the right sides again and get really good feeling truck. The new tires though, they're not helping the maneuverability for these guys behind the wheel, really.
It's not going to help a lot because the pack's so small. If the pack was bigger, maybe. I would take 2 tires. If you got to get gas, I always take some tires. Especially if you're on the bottom. If they pinch you, you can kind of hold on to it a little better instead of having to lift. Because if you get pinched in that bottom, times you got to lift because you'll push up into them. I would take 2. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody took no tires and just gas them.
If they pinch you and you drift up into them, it's not your fault, right?
I mean, you might feel bad about it, but oh well, keep going.
Never feel bad about someone racing you aggressively and them having to pay the price for it. Right now, top 3, you got Diesel, Voiles, and Nelly, followed by Keller and Brain. That's your top 5. I think I said top 3. That's your top 5. Then you got Eli in the 114 and then the 124 Biron. Both a lap or 2 down at this point, so Eli going to be the first truck 1 lap down. Rosemond in the 124, he's 2 laps down, back in the 24th position. So that seems like the night for that 124 might be all but done, but nonetheless a successful return to the racetrack tonight.
Yeah, that second pack, Joe, they're slowly catching the lead pack, but they're so far behind. They're going to need something to kind of happen to make some time up. But they are gaining. They gained 3/10 that lap on the lead pack.
It's 6 and 6, right? So it's going to be so hard for them to make up the ground.
Yeah, you kind of need some guys up front to have a bad pit stop to kind of make that even smaller of a field up front to have any kind of chance. But even then, if that happens, the leaders might stay together longer instead of racing earlier, just to keep that time distance from closing rapidly. It's a chess game. You don't really know what's going to happen until after this pit stop here.
We're playing chess out there at 200 miles per hour or 180 miles per hour. That's a pretty quick chess. Ooh.
Some of them playing chess, some of them playing checkers. Let's keep it real here.
Who do you think's playing checkers? Who's playing chess?
The guy who wins is playing chess. The rest of them are playing checkers.
There we go. See these leaders starting to migrate their way to the bottom once again. Have to think everyone's going to come together this time. Not going to split up the strategies as they have previously. It'll be follow the leader, Diesel.
Yeah, I think everybody in this front pack, even the lap down cars, they'll probably pit together this time.
Yeah. And you got to be, I'm always a little hesitant being a guy with, 2 or 3 cars behind me coming to the pit lane, especially late. It looks like, though, might only be Diesel and Voiles coming to the pit lane this time. This could be a move that costs them.
Honestly, I like the idea of them 2 pitting together like that. Mm-hmm. They've been getting in really good, and they've been getting out pit road right locked into those bumpers. I think they're gonna as long as they have a good pit stop, they're gonna come back out at the lead.
Watch the lead pack once again. Again, these top 3 are 1, 2, 3 on the raceway. See if Nelly brings them down the pit lane this time, or if they decide to stay out an extra lap. Like they're going to stay out that extra lap. I think that's another wise decision there too. Stay out that extra lap because you're already formed up. You can maybe put these guys a lap down. You can put Diesel and Voiles a lap down, and then if you get that caution, they're not going to be able to get back around you.
The 4795 did not get out like they normally did. They're still not locked on each other's bumpers yet. And literally, they took 2 tires. So they took tires, but they're not on each other's bumpers yet, pushing each other.
And the more time they're not pushing each other, that's giving Nelly, Monty Keller, and Brain a chance to kind of reel them in a little bit here.
Yeah, if I'd have seen the two, they've been leading most of the race here. If I'd have seen them pit early, I would have tried to stay in line as tight as possible up front. Just trying to give myself a little bit of a buffer. But it looks like they're all pitting now.
All really aggressive. Nelly might even close to speed and come into pit lane.
And I think Nelly forgot what the brake pedal was.
See, that second pack, most of it has come down the pit lane. And just trucks everywhere around the track right now.
It looks like Nelly took 4, so a little bit different strategy here on what they're doing.
This race is run mainly clean and green. Gonna be 16 laps, 15 next time to go.
And you got the 47.95. They're back tucked into each other, and you got Ricky J right behind them pushing them. They got a head of steam coming off turn 2, so we'll see how this works out with the 2 and 4 tires and everything.
They still got some ground to make up on Brain, Monty Keller, and Nelly. Like you said, though, they're going to have the numbers. If they have enough time is going to be the question.
Yeah, I think it hurt them a little bit coming out of the pits. They weren't close enough to each other. That hurt them, and Brain and there's a few other guys here that are really good pitting at these plate tracks. That's always a bonus here. If you can pit in and get in a little faster than everybody, that's always a bonus. You won't really lose the draft as long as you can get in pretty good. But there's 3 cars in line now. We'll see if they catch them.
Line Keller had to come back down the pit lane for speeding, so serving a penalty is the 028 Monty Keller's night, or at least chance at a victory tonight appears to be done.
Yep, that's another truck gone from that lead pack. So we're down to I believe it's 4 now, plus Ricky J.
So Diesel back by for the lead. Nelly and Brain gonna have to get into line and devise a new strategy to try to win this race. And if you're Diesel, once again, you got those 2 teammates hooked up behind you, and well, now Ricky J, he's not even fending for himself because he, lapped down, right? So he doesn't. The only thing he's got to do is to push that 47 to victory lane.
Yeah, I don't think Ricky's pitted yet because he was over 40 seconds behind last time I looked. I think he's still got a pit.
Okay.
He's probably just going to help Brian as long as he can until he has to pit. And with the 4 trucks like this, it's going to be really hard to get a run on somebody. You're going to really need that guy behind you to help push.
The other thing is when he spun, though, he did pit. So he should probably go a little bit longer here.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to make it. I think he's going to stay as long as he can and hope a caution comes out. That's what I would do here, because if you pit, you're done anyway.
Right. But if you can push that 47 to the lead, right? Because we've seen it's so hard to pass, especially with such dwindling numbers at the front of the field. So maybe you push Brian to the lead, and then hopefully he can hold on to it.
Yeah, the truck physics are a little bit different than the cup physics. If it was a cup, I'd rather be leading. With these CTS, you get such a huge run. The lead truck's pretty much a sit and duck if the 2 guys behind them want to work together. I mean, I'm still not going to give up the lead, but if I wasn't leading, I'd want to be actually 3rd. I wouldn't want to be 2nd right now either. I'd want to be the 3rd car in line.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to get enough. I think, third truck in line, that's just because you can't get enough of a run if you're the second guy.
Well, you push the second guy to the inside, then you take him 3 wide.
Let him push your big hole in the air, right?
Yeah, because that leader will block the first guy. He won't really notice you until it's too late. Ricky J's pitting right here, but 3rd car in line, that's really the only chance you got. You got to make the 2 guys in front of your race.
12 laps to go here from Daytona. JTN's coverage of the Lin Voiles Memorial 250 right now. It's Diesel John Forgione. Is it Forgione or Forgione?
I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, Joe. I'll just call him John.
Diesel out in front, Ryan Voiles in second, Nelly and Brainfade, your top four. They're all together. Rest of the field, really single file. There's a big pack right now storming out of the tri-oval altogether, being led by the 87 of Billy Ellisor.
Yeah, that second pack has gotten bigger, and they've made up a little bit of time in the pit cycle. They're going to really need something to happen. More than likely, they're going to need a caution to have any chance at this. But they are gaining on the lead pack. And I don't think these front four trucks will do anything until 2 or 3 to go. You'll see them ride just like they are.
This time at the line, it'll be 10 laps to go here from Daytona. And of course, that'll mean it is time for our TWV 10 to go. And on behalf of TWV, would like to let you know about a great company that gets your outdoors nice and bright. It's GardenLightsDirect.com. From porches to patios to more. For all of your outdoor lighting needs, head on over to GardenLightsDirect.com. Again, that's GardenLightsDirect.com, 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 your official partner for this, the TWB 10 to go.
And if you notice, Joe, what's going on here, from what I'm seeing, is the 47 truck is staying off the 95 a little bit, so he's either overheating or he's trying to see how the runs work out, but he's not tucked in like he was earlier. I would think he's overheating because he's also poking the nose out too. Nelly's trying to get to the outside of him, but he's not pulling up to that 95 like he was earlier. So I would assume he's overheating. If I was Nelly or somebody else, I would try to take advantage of that. I would try to pass him right now.
Eight laps to go. Voiles trying to find a path to victory lane here. Right now it's that 95 Diesel with the lead. And KJ, you would be correct. Too hot right now on that 47.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at, Joe. 'Cause he was pulling out, trying to get fresh air on the nose. But yeah, if I was Nelly or Brian, I would try to pass Brian right now. Put Brian at the back end of the line, make him have to run it harder to try to pass everybody. Maybe he'll get him overheated more. Maybe he'll blow up, or something will happen. I wouldn't let him just ride where he's at right now, trying to keep the temps down.
Yeah, because you'd put him in a really bad spot, right? Then there's no clean air out in front of him. Then you start getting 2 wide, 3 wide, make it so there's nowhere he can go. I'm evil like that. I'm really evil like that. I
would do the same thing, Joe. Because the trucks, the last truck in line, it's really hard for you to pull up to people unless they get too wide in front of you. You just don't get that run like you would inside that pack.
Mm.
But as you see, Ricky J's back out here with the lead pack again, so I wonder what he's up to.
That pesky 193. It's funny, it's got Voiles trucking on the side of it.
I'm willing to bet he goes to the bottom here.
Nelly getting a good run there in that 103, looking to pull to the outside of Diesel. Voiles kind of bumping him up the track, and now the 47 has to hit the go button. Engine temperature be darned.
Yeah, you got to go now. You can't really worry about temps. You're running out of time, and you see the guys going to the outside. If you clear the leader on the outside, it's going to be really hard for you to clear 2 trucks on the bottom like that.
Diesel back free and clear. Battle for second. Voiles on the bottom, Nelly on the outside. Again, that 193, that blue and red forward there on the bottom. That's Ricky J, lap or 2 down at this point, so not in contention for the victory here tonight, but still can play a pivotal role in this finish.
Yeah, that second pack caught the leaders almost a second that lap, so they're coming. They're just going to run out of time.
And now at this point, too, a caution comes out. I don't think we'd go back green.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna. If the caution comes out, it's gonna be over. So you really want to try to make you move now, just in case that caution does come out. You don't want to leave laps on the table if you can help it.
Boyles has got his pusher once again right behind him, trying to find a way. Starting to see him poke that nose left and right now instead of just to the inside. Working through the corners, trying to find a way around this 95. It's really been the Diesel and Brian Voiles show. These two, they qualified on the front row, have led the lion's share of the laps here tonight. Now it seems like they're gonna be the two that decide the winner of this race.
Yeah, I can pretty much tell you what's going to happen here, Joe. Brian's going to go somewhere. Ricky's going to follow him. And it really depends on what Nelly and Brain do. If they stay with the 95, they can outrun the two trucks by themselves. But if they go with them, I don't think they really have a chance unless they create a 2-wide, 3-wide situation. Because they're running out of laps. We got, what, 2 to 3 to go here?
Working lap 96? 97?
And you see, they cleared Ricky, so Ricky's out of the way temporarily.
That's what you want,
now,
too.
Yeah, just get Ricky out of the way. Just hit check him off the track. Do something. Get him out of the way.
Get him out of here.
But it looks like Ricky's laying back. He's going to get out of the middle of that here. But yeah, we almost had something on the back stretch. Brian tried it, but John blocked it.
And now Brian going to be lonely there on the bottom. That's going to allow Nelly to get to his outside coming off the corner. Going to be 3 laps to go this time at the line.
Yeah, he made a move. It didn't work. Now he's going to fall in the back. He's got Ricky coming up behind him. He's going to give him a nice little shot here going in turn 1. He's going to have a head of steam coming off turn 2. Like I said, he'll probably try something again.
And they have to get something going with that 47 and 193. See how they work together. Have seen Nelly and Brain work so good here tonight. Late in the going, see if that 49 stays loyal to the back bumper of the 103.
Yeah, honestly, here lately, it's been either Danny or Nelly winning these plate tracks. So Nelly kind of snuck up here on me. I didn't pay him any attention, but here he is again.
Voiles to the bottom. Oh, buddy. A big, weird wiggle from the 95 that time. 2 laps to go. Oh, there goes Voiles.
47 blow up?
He did. And that's going to bring out the caution. So this is the race to the checkered flag. Nelly trying to find a way around Diesel, who has the lead. Voiles' night goes up in smokes late. That 95 trying to hold off these 2 hungry cats right behind him. Diesel with control. Brain now looks to the inside. Nelly looks to the inside too. It's going to be a drag race to the line.
Gotta run.
Give it to Diesel. White flag with a yellow flag in the air. Go further on back. There's another big pack of trucks. Still all together. But what a heartbreaker.
Looks like RJ just beat Lee Dog to the line for 4th place. They had a nice little race there coming to the line in that second pack.
Oh. What a heartbreaker for the driver of the number 47.
Yeah, that really sucks because he had a really good truck tonight. But, you know, you kind of could see that coming because he was overheating by the way it was looking on the broadcast there. Him getting tucked up that close for that long, I would assume it just grenaded the engine.
There you see the replay. There it goes. And of course, Ricky J nowhere to go. He's being loyal teammate there, trying to push that truck. What a race to the finish, though. A photo finish. Is Forge Young going to get the victory behind the wheel of the number 95? Going to take home a trophy as well. And the Rock Financial Chevrolet got to go to the victory lane here tonight from Daytona. KJ, what a race.
Yeah, not really many cautions too early, and that was pretty much it. It was more about how good you could pit and staying with the draft. And the 95 truck, he was really good all night long, and he won the race.
I was going to say, and believe it or not, you were one of those yellows for your engine expiring.
That was so long ago, Joe. We won't talk about that anymore.
Don't need to dissect it?
Nah, we just need to get new parts from the parts shop. That was pretty bad. Yeah, all in all, good race. A lot of green flag racing and pit stops in the green. You can't ask for no more than that. And good photo finish at the end of the race.
And really got to see these drivers battle at the end, right? Got to see them. This is one of those races where you're going to look back at it, and was it a barn burner from the sense of we had 3-4 wide racing and passes for the lead and people coming out of nowhere to get to victory lane? No. But this goes down as one of those classic races where it really came down to drivers executing in the moment, and the guy that executed the best all night, Diesel in this 95, takes home the victory. I mean, pole sitter, right? Had that, started on pole, finished on the pole. It's not very often you get to do that, especially at a super speedway.
Yeah, I mean, he had the speed for one lap, and he had the speed for the whole race. Congrats to John. Good win. He definitely had the truck to do it tonight. And when you don't get cautions, you don't get chances to make up for mistakes. I mean, you kind of seen what happened there with Ricky and Matt and Danny and several other folks. They got off cycle and off sequence, and it just kind of burned them a little bit.
Well, a great race here tonight, folks. Make sure if you haven't already, hit the like button on the video and subscribe. We're also going to talk with our top 3 finishers here momentarily. Can't thank you enough, as always, for tuning in, though, here to JTN, especially on a Saturday night. Remember, we got more great racing coming for you this week with the Excel Racing, starting off with the Dano Skins Pro Cup Series Monday night from New Smyrna, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We start our coverage there, so we're just heading down the road here at JTN. Going to do some short track racing under the lights of the New Smyrna Speedway. Going to be a great week of racing there with the boys at Excel. That being said, though, we're going to move on to our post-race coverage. Get those results on your screen momentarily. Talk with our top 3 drivers. And KJ, once again, cannot thank you enough for joining me up here in the booth tonight, lending a hand and giving some great insight into this race tonight.
Oh, anytime, Joe, but not really. I'd rather be on the track. But it's a little bit different seeing it up here in the broadcast booth. You kind of get a different view of everything. But I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be. So hopefully it was all right. Just give you a little bit of insight from a different point of view from people who are on the track.
Easier or harder than what you expected it to be?
I wouldn't say it was hard. It's just something I haven't really done before. So I got to take the driver's mindset out of it and become a broadcaster. That was the hard part, is talking impartial and stuff like that, and cleaning the language up for the broadcast. That was the hard thing.
Hey, you did a really good job, by the way. Not a lot of folks can do that with moments notice. But folks, we're going to get those results on your screen. We're going to talk again with those top 3 drivers. Let's go ahead and start with our 3rd place finisher, driver of the number 49 Dodge Ram. Brain, 3rd place run tonight. That's got to feel really, really good here.
Yeah, it does. It was a good run. It was a good race. We had a lot of green flag racing, and it turned into basically a pit stop battle. You had to hit your pits, and you had to come out with that lead pack.
Were you expecting that, all those green flag runs tonight? Because I know these first 2 kind of exhibition events we've kind of seen riddled with cautions at points.
I was hoping for it, and there was one caution, I'm going to say about like 3 pit stops prior to the end, where the math was right to go back and top off and make sure you had the fuel in case it went green. And that's what I did. I topped it off every lap I could, and I made sure I had the fuel to make all these runs. Because I saw some people were pitting earlier and says, well, they're going to have to pit again. So they're out of it. But yeah, good race. hats off to John and Nelly for great finishes. I hated to see what happened to Brian there at the end. He was right in there in the hunt. He could have easily been on the podium. Just a bad break at the end.
Talk about how hard it was there with only 4 or 5 trucks at the end. Did it make it a lot more difficult to make those moves to try to weave your way up into the podium, or do you think maybe it simplified things for you behind the wheel?
Well, I didn't really have too much of options. I didn't think I could get to the lead. I'd kind of committed to just pushing Nelly. We had worked a lot together during the race, and we're pitting on the same sequence most of the time. So I said, I'm just going to push Nelly and see where I can get him. If we could have got behind Brian and pushed him, probably would have done that too. If I saw an opportunity where I could have, passed everybody, then maybe. But I just wanted it to be a safe race and get it clean to the end. So it was. I was really happy with the result.
Well, it was a great result. 3rd place finish. You're going to be taking home a trophy, a plaque. Always great to win these these special memorial races, events that Bomb Squad puts on. Congratulations on that, Brain. But before we let you go, the floor is yours. Sponsors, family, friends. Now's the time to thank them.
Well, of course, I want to pay my respects to the Voiles. Everything they do for Bomb Squad, and thanks to them. Magoo, of course. You guys are doing a great job up there at JTN. Joe, thank you for the broadcast. Just thanks to all the racers that came out and made it an exciting race there. It was interesting hitting all those pit stops.
Well, Brain, it was a great race. Congratulations once again on a great result, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us after this one.
All right, Joe, you take it easy.
BSR Brain Fade, your 3rd place finisher tonight from the Daytona International Speedway. Let's go ahead and bring in our 2nd place finisher, driver of the number 103 Medicine Chest Chevrolet, Nelly.
Yes.
It's hard to make a move for the win there with only 2 or 3 trucks behind you, right?
Oh yeah, I tried.
Well, photo finish there coming to the end. What, in hindsight, was there really anything else you could do, or was it just going to be that drag race to the line that we saw play out?
It was just going to be the drag race. Well, unless Brian didn't get spun there, then it would have been a little more interesting.
These races are obviously very, very special to everyone here. Everyone paying their respects tonight to the whole Voiles family. What does it mean, though, to get the 2nd place run up front all night, run very well, execute as you did behind the wheel at 103?
Oh, it means everything. Oh. What now?
You've obviously KJ was up here tonight, and he talked about how it's been you and Danny kind of vying for these wins over the last couple months on the super speedways. Why do you think the super speedway racing just comes so naturally to you?
I don't know. It comes down to the pit stops is about what it does. I hung out in the back until the first pit stop, and then when everybody caught me, I went to the back again and tried to stay out of trouble until the last pit stop.
Well, stayed out of trouble all night, led 3 laps to match that last numeral in the number. Nelly, congratulations on the 2nd place run here tonight, although I know you wanted 1 spot better. But before we let you go, the floor is yours. Sponsors, family, friends. Now's the time to thank.
I want to thank Brian for pushing me. That really helped me out. Thank Brian and Kathy for putting all this on. Thank ECT for them guys for coming over and everybody else that joined us. Thank my sponsor, the Medicine Chest. KJ, sorry about your luck.
I was going to say, Nelly, I mean, probably the best thing that could happen to you tonight was me blow up.
Well, it's not Talladega. That's usually where we get together. Oh, Joe, I want to thank you for putting this on, too.
You don't got to thank me. Thank you, Nelly, for all that you do. I mean, I know you're
just out here having fun, that's all.
Well, it's always fun to watch you have fun, Nelly. Congratulations once again on the second place run tonight, and thank you so much for taking the time after this one to talk with us. Now go celebrate that great running. Start making some space for that trophy, that plaque that's coming your way.
Alrighty, thanks, Joe.
VSR Nelly, driver of the 103, your second place finisher here tonight. Now we move on to what we will call the main event, driver of the number 95. Diesel, John, I'm going to say this wrong, so please correct me when I do. Forgione.
That's close.
Is it Forgione?
Forgione. You got to put the E on there. You know,
I thought so.
The vowel. You got to understand that.
Hey, you're usually the pit master, right? But tonight you were the draft master at Daytona. Take us through your race.
Well, you know, I mean, Brian Voiles and I, you know, we've been racing for years and years and years. We were on the same team way back in the day, and you know, we're pretty much comfortable with each other. So we were doing it together, you know, the whole night. So I mean, it was, you know, there's nothing to worry about as far as, you know, any wild stuff going on with him. You know, he's conservative up until the end, you know. But there's no worries. Rock Financial Silverado is running great. That's our new sponsor for ECT. I hope they're watching tonight because their car won. Their truck won. And, you know, everything ran good tonight. It was just my night, I guess.
Hey, it was your night into victory lane. You led 50 laps, so you led exactly half the race. I don't know how many times I've seen that done. Not a lot. So that's impressive. I know you probably wanted to lead more. You wanted to lead 51, 52, 53, whatever. But 50 is a pretty cool, nice round number. But qualifying on the pole and taking it to victory lane, what is that the most satisfying feeling that you can have in this sim racing thing, to, you know, be dominant from start to finish?
Well, I mean, the pole is one thing, but the racing is another. You know, I mean, everybody was being nice. You know, they were saving it. They were trying to save it for the end, you know. So it wasn't a lot of too wide, you know. I mean, there was a point where there was a 3 wide, and that was rather tight. I don't know if you saw that, but we got through that one. And, you know, I was just fortunate today to bring it to victory lane.
Fortunate to bring it to victory lane. One last question. I know this is it's obviously a very special race tonight. Tell the fans what it means for you to win this race, the Lin Voiles Memorial 250.
Well, you know, back in the day, you know, when we had Brian's team was called XFM, and you know, I got on the team and this and that, and Lin welcomed me, you know, and we used to practice together, and you know, we used to have a lot of fun together, and we raced very competitive together, you know, sharing everything, working at night. You know, we had a lot of laughs together, and it really means a lot. You know, he was a true gentleman, you know, a real class gentleman, you know, and I really miss him because he was funny, and you know, and he knew how to handle a sim car. Let me tell you, he really did. But you know, it is what it is. But I'm really happy, you know, because you know, I go back a long way with the gentleman, and I really truly miss him.
Well, I think you guys put on the best thing that you could put on, right, in memoriam tonight. It was a fantastic race. All of you did a fantastic job. You did the best job, of course, though, winning it. Congratulations once again, John. But before we let you go, the floor is yours. Anyone else you want to shout out or thank? Now's the time to do so.
Absolutely. You know, I like to thank BSR for putting this on. Brian Voiles Trucking, Kathy Voiles, naturally. Rolling Grill Barbecue for the 50 lap leader prize, and naturally your network, JTN Network, for doing always a fantastic job. And well, I hope we see you next week for the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Sign up at ectsimracing.com if you like. I have to give a plug for that, you know that. And you know, it's going to be another night. It's going to be another wild one. Believe me, this will probably be a wild one, like it usually is.
Got Massacre in the name, right? It's got to be wild.
Buddy, You got that right. So that should be interesting. And thanks again, Joe, for doing a great job. We all appreciate it, everybody.
Hey, I always appreciate y'all putting on some great races for not only us here at JTN, but also for all the folks that tune in week in and week out. John, congratulations once again on the victory here tonight. And go celebrate it. Go make sure you dust off a nice spot for the trophy. And hopefully we're talking to you next week after a victory in the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Good night.
John Forgione Diesel, your winner here tonight. KJ, man, oh man, I can't thank you enough for joining me first, but what a race we saw.
Yeah, it kind of played out like I thought it would, Joe. You had not really teammates, but two guys who know each other really well worked together all race. So they worked as teammates. They helped each other out. You had that unfortunate thing with Brian and the motor. But they were up front all race, and then you had a couple dark horses kind of sneak in there towards the end and make a race out of it. And then you had a photo finish, so you can't ask for anything else.
Can't ask for anything else, folks. We got the best racing right here on JTN. Had a fantastic race here tonight. Make sure if you haven't already, hit the like button on the video and subscribe. We appreciate it so much. I know a lot of new folks tuning in here tonight and the last couple weeks. JTN, we got more and more coming at you throughout the rest of the year. You don't want to miss a second of it. With all that being said, though, cannot thank you enough for tuning in here tonight to JTN. For all of us, for Bristol, our producer, for KJ, for joining us up here in the booth. I've been Joe Twansky. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks. Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh, Maverick! They're wide!
Who did that?
Turn 4 into the tri-oval. Whitehill through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
All right, and they're wrecking behind them. We got cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down, but it doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Comes Musa. Musa's gonna.
Oh, he's going to use that apron.
He's gonna use the apron.
They're going to be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Musa gets it.